On behalf of All Technologies Association of India, Western Zone, I am pleased to welcome you all on the second day of FOIC 2023, an international conference with the theme of meeting the challenges of energy-efficient process innovations and automations. After a wonderful opening ceremony yesterday, we now move on towards the technical sessions. I would like to introduce to our conference chairman, Mr. Kamlesh Kapadia. He is the CTO and founder of Concept and Clarity Technical Services. He was ex-chairman, managing director, and CEO at Desmet Balestra Private Limited. He has delivered over 180 international presentations and commercialized more than 5 innovative technologies. So I would like to invite our conference chairman, Mr. Kamlesh Kapadia, to present the conference theme presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Now you can see that FOIC is now soft power of fats, oil and oleochemical industries. There is a disclaimer from my side, first of all. I am getting old, so it might so happen that I may go blank during my presentation. Please forgive me if that happens. In that case, whatever I say during my talk, trusting it or not, is up to your best judgment, and you would be doing so entirely at your own risk and cost. But, you see, fats oil containing omega-3 fatty acids are said to be able to prevent dementia. That's why fats oil is very, very important. Welcome to Fats Oil International Conference 2023. This briefly we have seen yesterday about these aspects. I will not repeat much, but you see now we are already we have already crossed the population of China, and if you see that in fact 2000, from 9 million metric tons, we are today 24.5 million metric tons of edible oil consumption. Now by 2046 it will be 34. But what is important here is from GDP, you see for today $3.7 trillion, it might go to $30 trillion by 2046. And as of today, USA is at around 25 and China is 18. So, gentlemen, we are going to be a superpower in coming years. Now, coming to theme of the conference, FOIC 23. Now, out of, if you see the global consumption of edible oils is 243, out of that is something like 217 or 218 are vegetable oil. And if you see Indian dependency on the import is slowly coming down. As of now today, it is 60% import dependency, and then it will come down to 23. So it is very important that the domestic production of fats oil in India is going to increase. So what are the trends in fats oil manufacturing today? Trend in oil seeds and oil seed processing, first of all, is there is increased concern of environmental forces, processes to reduce waste and effluent, chemical and additives, noise and odor, energy usage, that is steam and electricity, which will give the cost-effective production for the industry. When we talk about environment, the major concern is process wastewater, and if you see here, the maximum wastewater is coming from the refinery. Crush and extraction is 10% and rest of the source are 5%. So we have to find out the technology which can generate less and less effluent for environmental safety. Now here you see I have added POME, that is palm oil meal effluents, which is going to the future in India, where palm oil is going to have the larger production in coming years. Then food and food safety. Mild processes are being looked into. Prevention of natural ingredients like vitamins and proteins. Removal of contaminants. This is the talk of the town. If you see, most of the people are talking about contaminants and all that. That is MCPDs, MOSH, MOAH, toxin, all that. reduction of unwanted side reaction, that is trans fatty acid. And very important now is the traceability of raw material. Means suppose we have some problems in oil quality today, one should be able to trace out where the original problem originates. That's how we talk about traceability of raw material. And quality of health is important. Now here see, oil contaminants, there are three ways it can be. Either it is process induced, another is environmental, third is seed processing or pre-post harvesting. Process induced can give the 3-MCPD, GE, trans fatty acid, dialkane ketone. These are basically not present in crude oil. What we have to do? We have to minimize, avoid formation during refining. If you see here, seed processing and pre-post harvesting, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, mycotoxin, pesticides, and environmental is dioxin, PCB, phthalate, mineral oil hydrocarbon, and these are basically present in oil. But how you can reduce it? Avoid presence, mitigate during refining. And here see mycotoxin. Mycotoxin, alpha toxin, you must have heard, it occurs due to fungal in the groundnut, and zearalenone is in corn oil, which can be removed by just stripping of the stripping during the deodorization. Now the major issue here, and what we thought or what we discussed or decided to include in presentation or the theme of the conference, that there are testing methods are not available. The proper testing methods. That's why there is a special lecture is included for the testing method, which will be useful for the delegates. And then of course, competition and reduced margin force us to go for cost-effective processes, that is low operating cost, flexible plant, that is multiple oils can be processed, fully automated operation, high production consistency and low manpower, and of course the large capacity, which will give the economies of scale. Now looking at this, what are the drivers of change today? One side is regulatory, safety, environmental, food safety, and of course renewable energy. Another side is the financial, that is cost, capacity and technology, and third is commercial, that is evolving consumer demands. And these are the driving factor, and it should be sustainable and renewable. Renewable energy, if you see, there are various five major types, but the major is wind, 6.6%. Why I am focusing on this? Because the fats oil industry is now using all these energies for the production. So 6.6% is mainly from wind, 15.3% is coming from hydro, and 3.7% is coming from solar. But still, 75% is still fossil fuel. So still a long way to go. This is something like a new hydrogen cell. So you can see that wind energy is generating electricity. It is doing the electrolysis of the water, hydrogen production, hydrogen is produced, hydrogen is compressed, it goes to fuel cell, reacts with oxygen, water is produced, water goes for the process, and this fuel cell goes to the, and you know this hydrogen bus is already been introduced, and you see that fuel tank is on the top, and when you burn this energy in hydrogen bus, only the emission is water, nothing else. Now looking at the financial trade, there is a cost and capacity, and if you see the triangle, the refining cost versus quality versus sustainability. Now quality is very much important, and refining cost and sustainability in such a way that whatever we do in the refining should consume less and less energy, and it should be environmental friendly. That's the reason one is refining condition, another is a refining technology. Those who are having existing plant, they have to adjust the refining condition to that. But the new plants which are coming up, or the new technology which are coming, this adjustment should be made in such a way that it becomes a sustainable quality, better quality, and at minimum refining cost. But it will be surprised that chemical versus chemical refining is still a debated choice of process today. After 50 years also, we are still discussing this. Now here, to briefly explain to you, now this is the chemical refining line, and you can see that here, crossover point, and it is soybean FFA. So chemical refining cost goes like this. Physical refining is the red one, and the initial cost of physical refining is more as compared to chemical refining because here we use more chemical enzymes and all that. But, and here crossover point is 1.5%. That means up to 1.5% FFA, we can either use chemical or physical. But what happens? As soon as the chemical refining environmental cost increase, environmental cost, that is effluent treatment and all that, that graph goes up because that is very little for the physical refining. And then the crossover point comes back to the lower than 1.5%. Okay, I think it is going down there. Okay, the chemical refining and physical refining, there are two types of what we are discussing. And innovation for process technology, you can say nanotechnology is there, and which uses less chemicals, less losses, and higher FFA acid oil, and less load in effluent. In case of innovative processes in physical refining, we see that deep enzymatic degumming is there, and the latest one is Artisan's multi-stage vacuum fractionator. Now here, what they have done, that is something like short path distillation, or what they call as short path stripping, where they claim that they remove all that MCPDs and all that up to 90% by doing this multi-stage staged vacuum fractionator. DGMG can be reduced by 90%, and FFA also can be reduced. So these are the new technologies coming into the market. And when we say that a lot of enzymes are being used during the process. Now, but today, what are the challenges of the fats oil industry to adopt enzymes? So that's the reason we have kept one session for enzyme. So all the enzyme manufacturers have to address these few of the issues which I am listing here. Still, enzyme cost is high. Enzyme manufacturer has to do something about this. Enzyme requirement, water requirement, narrow range of uses, that is pH, temperature, and all that is very narrow range is required for this, and it is a little bit sophisticated technology. So we will see in that session how these issues been addressed by our colleagues or by our speaker in enzymatic application module. Now, when we talk about RISE, technology RISE, it should be the technology has to be a reliable, integrated, sustainable, and efficient. I think in 4 words it itself is explain everything. Now, if you see here, industry is resistant to change, but change is really happening. Proven technology is still a mantra today, and EI transesterification, that is palm oil and coconut oil, has replaced hydrogenation completely. Extraction of sterol, toco, vitamin E from FAD and all that. Hexane extraction is not going away today, but market growth is back to mechanical. I'll come back to that, what I mean by mechanical. New awareness of storage capacity. Now, after this COVID-19, there are a lot of other additional safety measures have been introduced, and for the storage and all that. Now, palm oil cultivation. Now, India, if you see the situation, and you can see here, per hectare production of oil palm as compared to rapeseed, sunflower, or soybean. So, palm oil production is always high per hectare. Now, in India, in 2014, it was 34,000 acres, that is half of that will be hectare. By 2022, it is 72,000 acres will be under cultivation. And by 2030, it is a mission, oil mission has been taken by Indian government, that is going to be 20 lakhs acre, that means 1 million hectare. 1 million hectare means approximately 3 million metric ton of palm oil. So in future, by 2030, we are going to be slowly becoming self-dependent, at least palm oil is concerned. That's the reason I said our dependence on the import will reduce slowly. And that's how this D3PRO technology, which are going to be presented tomorrow, it is in fact launched in 2014, but it will have a more relevance in India in coming years. Here the major effluent is POME, that is palm oil meal effluents, and you will be surprised that 650 kilo per ton of FB will be produced. So this is the latest issues we are going to face, and how to address them it will be covered in tomorrow's presentation. Now technology has to rise, and then digital transformation, and we are moving into industry 4 due to industry revolution, all that. Today's push is more automation, remote access, that is SCADA. COVID-19 will cause an ever greater move towards remote access control, faster changeover what is required. So automation in fact is a key to cost efficient processing of oil and oil seeds. Today 95% of the plants supplied are automated using PLCs and SCADA. Few years back only 20% plant were automated. That's the reason the latest development in automation and coming years, what will be those developments and new technologies that will be covered under automation. Now this is exactly what is going to happen in future. That means if we see the industry 1 revolution was mechanization, industry 2 revolution was electrification, number 3 was automation, that is automation, and we are now in number 4, that is the smart factory. And what the smart factory automation will do, everything track in real time, machine talk to one another, machine to machine. Machines are repaired before they are break down. Energy consumption is optimized automatically through the man to man, machine to machine. Production line can be altered and customized in a matter of seconds. How it can be done, we'll see tomorrow during automation. Now, automation and management information system goes hand in hand. So if you see here, the field control devices, that is temperature, pressure, and flow transmitter, valves, drives and all, they form the major portion or major part of the automation, and they are 70% of the cost. So even though automation is important, they play major importance. That's the reason some of the presentations are focused on analytical instrument and their application. Now there are commercial trends. If you see the global oilseed market by category, trans fats are totally out. Hydrogenation limited to non-food application. Trend to non-GMO upgrading is upgrading to organic. And now we can see that the graph 2018-2019, slowly non-GMO to organic is getting up and up. Consumers are now becoming more savvy about health. Yesterday, Dr. Kakodkar was asking me, what are the synthetic oil or something like that, what we have going to do. We discussed there the keto formulation. So nowadays, the new oil is going to be formed, and you must have heard keto formulation. Keto formulation, nothing but they develop fats and oil in such a way that it will not have any glucose in that. So whatever your body will use the energy from fats and oil, and when the energy is used from fats and oil, you know that after peroxide value increases, the fatty acid chain are break down. One is aldehyde and one is ketone. That's the reason this food is known as keto food, and this is going to the future of the diet. Now new plants are being built with mechanical extraction just for growing demand for organic oils. Now novel oils and new market, the biodiesel market is really growing. Now you see this HVO, that is hydro-treated vegetable oil, known as green fuel or renewable diesel, and this can be directly added to the fossil fuel. The beauty of this that like other biodiesel, it don't have that point of winter or something like that, and there is no nitrogen oxide present in this. So this is going to be the future. Now edible oil life cycle. Now this is also very important. Nowadays what happens that we have a lot of edible oil consumption, then there is a waste oil or used cooking oil. People try to blend it to the refined oil, or it is said that total polar compound, when it crosses 25%, it should be thrown out. This oil should be thrown. But now the system is coming like that. If you see that 950 crore liters of waste oil is produced in USA, that is 55% of the world production of this one. And next is China. And in India itself, this 200 crore UCO, that is used cooking oil, are produced in India. So what people are doing, I have given one example, that Bunge and Oleco, they have formed a joint venture, like whatever oil produced by Bunge are sold to the market, and whatever used oil is there, that Oleco will take it, convert it to by HVO process to fuel, so that complete life cycle is completed, edible oil life cycle is completed. Now, what is important in coming year that today 5% sustainable aviation fuel are being used up to 2030. But by 2050, gradually it will be increasing to 85%. And this is slowly, the trend is coming slowly everywhere. And aviation fuel is nothing but what we use in our aeroplanes and all that. So this is going to be a very, very important aspect in coming years. So we have to look into the technologies. Today we are talking about only transacidification. Nobody talks here in India, at least HVO, but we have to look into that. And that is exactly we are going to cover during our various discussions. Now, if you see that extraction by hexane, approximately 300,000 tons of hexane enters the human food chain as residue of extraction product. How to address this issue? So slowly there is one new solvent is coming, what is known as eco-extract, been introduced. But the only problem is that the solubility of this is something 5 to 10%, whereas our hexane solubility in water is just ppm. So that is the major issue to be tackled, and how it will be tackled will be discussed in a few of the presentation tomorrow. Algal oil, there is a microbial oil. It is going to be an important oil in coming years. But today it is not, it is struggling to go beyond fuel oils. But tomorrow it is going to be alternative for palm oils, because its production per hectare is even more than palm oil. So look out for the algae oil in future. We may not know that algae oil is replacing the palm oil. Then major opportunities are there in protein isolate, SPC, TSPC, human and animal fish food and all that. So finally, what are the technology for 2023? One aspect is sustainable technology including fats and oil. I think the next 2 lectures are going to cover this. There is nothing like waste, what I said yesterday. Sustainable is attainable. Green hydrogen will reduce 830 metric tons of carbon dioxide emission annually, and eco-extracted HVO, which we have discussed just now. The full edible full life cycle of edible oil we have just now discussed, that will be covered. Automation and instrumentation, we are going to enter into industrial revolution, that is going to the industrial revolution number 4. Under that, if we see artificial intelligence is everywhere today, and that how it's going to play a very important role in fats and oil automation also we'll see. Internet of Things, IIoT, M2M connectivity, mechanical learning and digital transformation is also a part of future automation. And all this is used in a very well manner, real time and closed loop control system, how it will be used in fats and oil processing, how quickly results we get from the, no need to go to analytical lab, and we'll get the results on the spot. And there are few enzyme applications are coming up, the reduction in DG in oil to mitigate GE, formation of enzyme hydrolysis, decontamination of feedstock by HVO, full biodiesel yield by transacidification, fat splitting, glycolysis, MCT, esterification, that everything will be covered under enzyme application module. So that's how is our conference theme, meeting the challenges of energy efficient process and automation. And these are the technical modules we are going to have. So friends, let us enjoy the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. You have very well outlined the theme for this conference and also stressed upon the different aspects that we are going to be discussing throughout the technical sessions. So now I would request Dr. B.R. Gaikwad to present memento to Mr. Kamlesh Kapadia.